Most of the folks back home have heard by word of mouth about the trip and that it was a good experience, but I think they get something else out of it with respect to grounding yourself back into what you went into medicine for, or what you went into your particular specialty for, because it becomes pretty pure down here.
We work at a hospital run by nuns, and they put advertisements on the radio and the newspaper to let people know that a contingent of American doctors are coming, and so we get a very large number of patients who arrive looking for care at a either free or very reduced price. We treat the indigent population. A great number of Mexicans cross the border into Guatemala when they know that we're coming.
All the patients in the community, they're happy when the doctors come because they say that the surgeries turn out so great.
This hospital has been going for a long time, and so people have been able to come here for a long time. And so I think what this hospital does is huge. I mean, because a lot of the patients, if they can't get care here and we have to send them to Guatemala City, I mean, you can just see it in their eyes, like they're not going to go, like they can't afford it. They won't get the treatment. That's just what's going to happen.
What I'm doing here? Well, this is my third trip. I did one, this is the second with this group, and I did one before that, and I just kind of always wanted to do it. I'm a caregiver, so you have that in you to want to get out and help people.
I just wanted to be of service. I wanted a different perspective from my daily life, what it's like in the States compared to what it's like here. So this is my second visit. The first was spectacular, different perspective on my life. I went home a changed person. It's just special here.
Always talked about potentially doing something like this, as the kids get older, and this opportunity just happened to come up, and it was short enough of a trip to justify being able to do it and leave town and leave my practice, which is a hard thing to do.
I got to a point in my life where my kids were grown, and one of the doctors at work was talking about a trip that was being put together, and so I just pushed my way in and I said, what, you're doing what? You're going where, when? And I said, I want to go. And so she said, well, let me check with the group, and they took me along, and it was to Ecuador.
It's something I've wanted to do forever, but was never either financially able to, or because of my kids wasn't able to come. And so it was a good time for me to come. That was 6 years ago. I feel like it's a great way to reach out to people in need that really appreciate what we're doing here.
You have to pay to go. It's not, they aren't paying you, so it's something you have to give by giving up money to do it and your time. We had to take vacation time to do it.
So I had two partners that had done it a couple of years ago and just kind of raved about the experience and being able to practice medicine, outside of America, and the good you could do for patients down here.
Down here, it's just a whole other world, and it's such a great perspective. But I think people come down here, for one, to get away. For two, it sounds kind of exotic, but then also, just to be able to do something a little bit different for a couple of weeks. And then I think once they get here, they realize how much it actually helps you do better once you go home.
I mean, my goal was to go and help out and care for people that really need medical assistance, and it ended up being the best thing that I've ever done.
I've known that I wanted to go to medical school for a number of years now, and so I think I was just looking for something that would give me an opportunity to travel and see a little bit of what international medicine is like. But I didn't have the opportunity because I was in school, or but this last year it just worked out well. I wasn't taking the MCAT, I wasn't in school, I could take some time off work, and so it all just worked out.
I wanted to do it, but I was never in a position financially to take that much time off and stuff. So I came last time, and it was just so wonderful to feel so good about yourself. It just kind of soothes the soul.
And there's almost a sense of entitlement, I think, in the United States, versus when you come into a third world country, you don't feel that at all. I have never felt that.
You get to walk around the town and stuff, and you just feel like you're appreciated Everyone's so happy to see you. They hug you when you come. They hug you when you leave. You don't get that in the States. They don't hug me.
You know, Nuevo Progreso, you have somebody that goes from light perception to counting fingers, and they are like jumping for joy. You know, let's have a fiesta. So that's just, that's amazing, you know? I love that.
And even people who aren't having surgery, sometimes the people on the streets, they come to you and they want to hug you, and they say a prayer over you, and they just seem genuinely thankful that we're doing something for them. That's a nice feeling.
Which is your favorite team that comes down here?
Oh, ¿cuál es su jornada o equipo favorito que viene aquí, Elvira?
Todos son iguales.
Oh, everybody's the same.
Well, I didn't know anyone when I came, and I feel it was hard. I think that we're a really good team. We work well together, and we're all here for the same purpose. Yeah. Different personalities, but we're still here for the same goal.
Everybody just seemed, to click, and they were very kind and open, and it became like this really amazing family, and that's something that I'll miss at dinner time. I really enjoyed, because I don't come from a big family, so having that large table seating and pass the juice, pass the sauce or the beans or the rice, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
So the team selection is probably one of the most crucial aspects. I want to have people that I know that are skilled in their particular specialty, that I don't need to worry about if I'm out administering things in other areas. We just don't have the same sort of backup in terms of the ICU or the ventilators or the blood bank to help take care of some surgical complications. So I need to know that I have people who, if they dig themselves a hole, they can dig back out.
I've been going there, I think this is my 14th year or 16th year. I know the situation, and I know a lot of people who are Guatemalans who work in the hospital. So it lends itself to doing cataract surgery, whereas in other parts of the world it's not quite as sophisticated, if you can use that word for the operating scene that we have here in Guatemala, which compared to the United States is not sophisticated at all.
You deal with what you have and you work on your pure medical instinct, which is this a patient who's healthy enough for this operation? And I don't have the options of relying on my technology to tell me that. I've got to rely on my eyes, my ears, the sounds and sights, which is kind of what we would like it to be most of the time too. So it's definitely a very physical, intimate interaction with patients here.
You never quite know what you're getting into. I think that's part of what keeps me coming back is the adrenaline rush you get of getting out of your comfort zone, and you never know quite what you're going to get. But it's a challenge that way, and I enjoy that.
We all have watched the television shows where they are taking care of people out in the dirt, in Africa or other places, and I don't know, it's kind of exciting, I guess, to be a part of something like that.
There have been a couple of trips I've had that I've gone in successive years to the same location and been able to see the follow-up patients that I operated on the year before, but that's fairly rare. In volunteer work, usually you're going to a lot of different places. But in this circumstance, I was able to see those patients, and it was just magical. I mean, it was just heartwarming to see it. And so I'm hoping that the patients I operated on this time are going to have that same experience, but I'll maybe never know.
This was the first time that I brought students along or trainees along, and I just hope that the students and trainees get as much out of it as the rest of us do.
When I was coming down here, I remember having that conversation with some people about, they would ask me, what do you think you'll be able to do on the trip? And in medicine, the patient always comes first. I never felt I was endangering the patient. I was fully secure in the fact that I had, a surgeon right across the table from me telling me exactly where to go and even guiding my hand in where to go.
It's still just as safe, and that's the thing that I emphasized to everybody before we get started, is that this is different from what you're used to at home, but we're still going to do things the right way and the safe way.
Well, most mornings I get up early and go for the walk with everybody because I like to get out and move and get some sort of exercise, and then you get out and you walk around and you see what it's really like here.
Up at 6, go for a walk for a half hour, come back, take a shower, get ready, go have breakfast.
Which is prepared by the wonderful local women, and you can have everything from eggs and pancakes to cereal, or just the local bananas and stuff.
go do surgery till we're done.
The interesting part is that we can be doing 3 different surgeries within one small room.
I wasn't really sure how I'd fit in as kind of this quasi-medical student. I didn't really imagine being in a room with 3 operations going on simultaneously and being able to flip-flop between gynecology and general surgery and plastic surgery. And when I was told that I could scrub in, I think I was really excited and a little bit nervous about that.
Mostly they're going to be cleft lip and palate work, and mostly children. We do burn scar releases, hand surgery, as you've seen, but cleft lip and palate is predominantly what I do.
And I think we did 87 cataract operations plus an additional 25 or 26 laser treatments for either narrow angle glaucoma or for an opacified posterior capsule after the surgery.
I wasn't quite certain what I was going to be doing here. I'd never volunteered before. Was just looking for a different experience. So I thought this was a great way to safely, I guess, see a different part of the country with a team that had a unified purpose of serving patients.
On this trip, we had an enormous amount of support. We had 3 optometrists and I think 2 or 3 techs, all working seeing patients. In the clinic, they were seeing on average of between 85 and 100 people a day. And a lot of those people weren't surgical candidates, but they were either fit with glasses, which we donated, or they were glaucoma patients who we treated with medications.
I think it is almost impossible to put into words the experience that you get down here. It put a new light on the day-to-day things that you're seeing and treating. I'm a gynecologist taking care of bleeding, for instance, in the States. Everyone has access to hygiene and hygiene products, and you walk down the street here and you see these, shanty shacks, and then these ladies come in with 40 days of bleeding problems, and it's a completely different set of motives. They're not worried about how anemic they're getting. They're worried about, the hygiene issues and dealing with it. I mean, it's the same problem, but it's just a totally different reason for treating it, motivation to treat it. So it's very different in that. I didn't expect that.
And then hang out on the patio and get on the internet and go have dinner, come back and visit for a while, go to bed.
I wasn't expecting it to be this nice. This place is really nice. I was not expecting people to wash my laundry and make all my meals every day and everything like that. And I also wasn't expecting this place to be so well organized. I was definitely expecting much more chaos.
This is the Hilton of Guatemala, because it's not always on the mission trips are this nice. It's very well run here, so it just makes it easy for volunteering. I thought that was like a joke. A massage therapist, I've had 2 massages in my life, and and the chiropractor and acupuncture. I heard of acupuncture, I thought that was kind of smoke and mirrors or something, but I had wonderful results from the acupuncture, and it's like, I'm going to look it up when I get home. That hasn't happened before.
I can see my colleagues going through a lot of different changes as they need to be much more efficient. They need to see more patients. The encounter is not with your doctor, the encounter is with the doctor's office. And so it's less personal and less direct medicine. And I think that's changing it.
Sometimes you get up and it feels a little bit like Groundhog's Day. It's you love your practice, you love what you do, but it's just a grind to get through the day and to get through the EMR system and to get through all of the hurdles that we have to get through in America to take care of patients. None of those really exist here. You come in and you just take care of the patients, and it was a very nice reset for me.
The feeling you get from all of that is awesome. It helps me so much when I go back to the States. So this brings it back to why I got interested in the entire medical field to begin with. It kind of brings it back to we're helping people. At the very root of it, we are truly helping people. And I don't always feel that back home.
I think it reinvigorates that excitement for medicine that can kind of get stale if you're just in a day-to-day practice back in the States. I think you kind of see why people are in the medical profession when you go on trips like this.
Yeah, people always say to me, that's so wonderful of you to go down there, and I always feel I get so much more out of it than I give. Very, very gratifying.
I think we take for granted sometimes the things that, the opportunities in life that we have. And trying to not make it sound like I'm special or we're special, but I think we have a gift that we can give that is very well received and appreciated, and that it felt very, very good to do that.
Very rejuvenating. And people ask, like, why do you do that? Like, it costs you money, and I take the time off without pay, so there's no check when I get home. And it's like, because I get so much back to my soul that who cares if you have the money? You just, like, yeah, that's why I went into nursing, to help people.
So it would hopefully keep my soul young as I become grumpy and old and cynical doctor someday. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen. But, yeah.